On March 22nd, 2026, there was a horrific accident where, due to miscommunication, a fire truck was given the all clear to cross an airport runway. Unfortunately, there was an airplane landing at the same time, and the airplane collided with the fire truck, killing the airplane pilots and injuring so many others. This reminded me of a little talked about accident that happened during the Civil War that involved the 11th and 20th VRC. 128 men of the VRC were working as guards to move 833 Confederate prisoners from Point Lookout, Maryland to Elmira, New York. Due to missing prisoners and bridge crossing issues, the prisoner train was 4 hours behind its scheduled time slot. The train ended up riding behind another scheduled train that had its extra flags posted on it, meaning there was an extra train riding behind it. When the first train had passed through the Shohola, Pennsylvania area, the dispatcher, already being told there was a second train coming from behind, gave the all clear on the tracks to a train coming from the opposite direction carrying rail cars full of coal. The coal train was now heading right for the prisoner train. When the engineers of both trains saw each other, it was too late, as they met on a curve with only 50 feet of visual clearance. Only one engineer was able to jump before the impact. The other engineers and fire tenders were thrown against the engine boilers and buried under the train's lumber fuel. The prisoner train cars telescoped into each other and derailed. Limbless and decapitated bodies, both northern and southern, were thrown all over the railbed. By the time the horror had stopped, 48 prisoners and 17 guards were killed, while many others were injured. The local residents of Shohola, Pennsylvania, and Berryville, New York, a mile and a half from the train wreck, not only heard the collision, they felt it. The residents offered help to over 100 injured by opening their houses to care for them. A mass unmarked grave was dug next to the railroad tracks to bury the victims of the collision, where they stayed until 1911, when the remains were moved, reburied, and properly marked at Elmira. Two prisoners that were taken into town and cared for by residents ended up passing away from their wounds and were buried in town. Today, the collision site is surrounded by private property and is not accessible to the public. Two markers were put up to mark the incident, but one is at the collision site you can't visit, and according to the local historical society, the other marker was stolen. I only own one item in relation to this incident, which is a letter written by W. G. Motter of the 11th VRC, a guard who was in the collision. He wrote to a resident in Shohola that he and the unit had become friends with. The soldier wrote, "Our regiments generally send their love to you and the citizens of Shohola for your kindness and your patriotism." He also wrote, "Give my respects to all, both Berryville and Shohola."